Assalamualaikum everyone, this is me Hania. So welcome back to my channel, welcome back in the video, welcome back to the lecture. So hope you all are going great, and well, if you're new, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe my channel, press the bell icon so that you get a notification of my each and every video. So today we're gonna study physical and chemical changes, but before that I want to tell you that if you have any question on English to math science, you can comment on any of my video. I'll go through that as soon as it could be possible. So once again I'm back with you guys. So today we're going to study physical and chemical changes. Like I'm going to make you study in detail what are physical changes and what are chemical changes. So first of all, coming towards the introduction, so changes in materials are going on around us all the time. Like you should know it all the time. There are different changes in materials. Like material does not matter. It can be solid, liquid, gas. So there are different changes that are taking place. Then leaves change their color. So it's not like leaf always remain green or leaf always remain orange type or leaf always remain brown. They change the color to reddish tone, sometimes brownish tone, sometimes greenish tone. So they keep changing their color on the basis of seasons or on the basis of the weather. And then trees shed their leaves, like trees, they basically shed their leaves, shed the color of the trees. Okay, then milk change to curd, like milk change into yogurt, and there are different fermentation process that takes that curd, that makes the milk to change its form into the curd. Iron nails rust in moisture. Now you should also know this, that when there are iron nails present, definitely they rust. So they basically also rust in moisture. So some changes around us are slow and some are fast. So in this chapter we'll study about changes in matter. So now I'm gonna make you study what are the changes in matter. So this is what our topic is gonna be. What is a physical change? So a physical change alters the form of a substance but does not change it into another substance. Like it basically it basically alternates the form of substance. Like if something is solid, it's gonna change into liquid, but does not change into another substance, but it will remain the same substance. Like if I'm having, like making orange juice, like you make the orange juice, you make an orange juice, and yeah, definitely now here you're having a solid, it's changing into a liquid. Then what will happen, it's still the orange is present inside, so it's not changing the substance. That means a physical change. For example, you're making a salad, so it's a physical change, because you can still tell that which one is a carrot, which one is a cabbage. You can still tell about that. That means that it is basically a physical change. Same goes for an ice cube. So an ice cube is a solid. When it's gonna melt, it's gonna become a liquid. It's gonna melt, so it's gonna become water. So then what will now what is this? This is also a physical change. Ice cube we were having a water, so now it's gonna stay water. Okay, then we are having what is a chemical change. So when a substance undergoes a chemical change, it's changed into a different substance with different properties. Now here, first of all, new substance is gonna form. Then maybe the properties, they are gonna retain the properties of the new substance that is formed. And like this is a chemical change. In physical change, we change the substance from one form to another form, but what the substance remains the same. So the material we were having is going to remain the same, but what we are going to do, we're going to change its form. But now here in chemical, we go through chemical processes. It undergoes the chemical processes, and then as a whole a different substance with different properties occurs. We have a different substance with different properties present then. So, like baking a cake. Now, you're baking a cake, you're using vinegar, you're using soda, you're using ketchup, you're using different pepperonis, different meat, and everything inside it. Now, you're gonna burn it. So, when you're gonna burn it, until the process, you're not burning it. Maybe you can say it's a physical change for the pepperonis and the meat that you're using above it. You can remove that. That's a physical change, but yeah, still it's a physical and chemical mixture. But once it undergoes the fire, it becomes a chemical change. So now this is basically what a chemical change is. The baking of the baking of cake, making of pizza, these both are chemical changes, because they undergo a process in which they change the substance and their properties. Then physical change. Now, a physical change is one in which only the physical properties of substance change and its chemical properties remain the same. Now, what is a physical change? A physical. Now, here we were studying about physical and chemical, but now here we're gonna go through their exact definition. Now, the exact definition of physical change is that a physical change is one in which only the physical properties of substance changes, its chemical property remain the same. Now here, only the physical properties are going to remain. You are going to change, like size, shape, and that can we can convert that back again. So only what is going to change, the physical properties. The chemical properties are going to remain the same. Okay. So explanation for it is like a change in which matter looks different but still is same matter. Now here what's gonna happen is gonna look different. Like in orange juice, here you're gonna see that if you're gonna take an orange and then an orange juice, definitely they're gonna look different. But here the matter is same. What is the matter? Orange. So here the matter is same, but both are physical changes. So and a change that affects the size, shape, or color of a substance but does not affect its composition is known as physical change. Again, I told you that if size, shape, or color of a substance is changed, it does not matter. It's going to stay a physical change because that is a physical property, and in physical changes, physical properties can change, but it does not affect the composition. Once the composition or appearance changes, once the composition changes, then it's gonna convert into a chemical change. Okay, physical changes are temporary and can be easily reversed. Now you should also notice that they are temporary and can be easily reversed. Now the meaning of they are physical changes and can be easily, wait a second. Okay, so now physical changes are temporary. Now temporary means that physical changes, basically physical changes are temporary because they alter a substance appearance or state without changing its fundamental chemical composition. These changes are often reversible, meaning the substance can be returned to its original form. A common example of melting ice, like water transitions from solid ice to liquid water but remains chemically water in both states. If the liquid water is frozen, then it reverts to ice, demonstrating the temporary and reversible nature of the change. So now this is a basic meaning of what I meant when I said that. Okay, so then what are we having? Wait. Okay, so then here we are having the examples of physical changes. Now here are the some of the examples of physical changes present in front of you. You can see that cutting of paper. ठीक है, cutting paper, it's a physical change because definitely you can, its size, shape is gonna change, but its composition is gonna remain the same. It's gonna be staying a paper. Then painting a wall, you're gonna paint a wall. No, okay, here size is not gonna change, color is gonna change. Okay, that's known as the appearance is gonna change, and maybe the shape changes according to the wallpaper. So that's also physical change because the composition is not going to change. It's going to remain a wall. Then melting marshmallows, you're going to melt marshmallows. It's going to still remain a marshmallow. Just the size is going to change and maybe the shape is going to change. Okay, the composition is going to remain the same. Water freezing, again, water freezing. I told you that it's going to remain a water. Just the size or shape are going to change. Then the thawing meat. Now thawing meat, again, composition is not gonna change, just the shape or size is gonna change. Then mashing potatoes. Now again, the size is gonna change, the shape is gonna change, and then the composition is gonna remain the same. Then breaking glass, again, composition is gonna remain the same. It's gonna remain a glass, but here the size, shape is gonna change. Okay. Then molding clay, again, composition is going to remain the same, size or shape are going to change. Water boiling, again, the composition is going to remain same, is going to remain the water. Here only you can say that due to steam that's going to be evaporated, the size may be smaller, but I don't think so that it will affect the shape. Chemical change now. So a chemical change is one in which a new substance is formed. So basically, it's a one in which a new substance is formed. That there's, so if in any solution, like imagine that there's any solution, and in that solution physical properties are changed and chemical properties are also changed, but it's not uh, um, a new substance is not formed, so definitely it's going to be not a chemical change. So you should also need to know this. So it's very important for a substance to change into a new substance when it is chemical change. A change that results in the formation of a new substance is known as chemical change. A change that is permanent in nature. Now again, as I told you that in physical changes you're having temporary and they can be easily reversed, but chemical changes cannot be reversed. They cannot be proven back to their original shape, size, color, appearance, nature. No, they cannot be, because they are permanent, because we have taken permanent actions, we have done a lot of calculations and then made that. So a change in materials that produce a new substance, a change is permanent and not easy to reverse. Okay. Examples of chemical changes. Now, wood burning to ash and smoke to a new substance is formed, because definitely wood burning is something else, and then it's gonna change it to ash, and smoke is gonna be something else. Okay, so its composition is gonna change. It's gonna be converted from wood burning to ash and smoke. Iron rusting, again the composition is gonna change. Iron is there present there, now it's gonna rust, so definitely its composition is gonna change. Marshmallows burning, when you're gonna burn your marshmallows, definitely it's gonna composition is gonna change. Apple rooting, definitely when apple is going to root, it's going to change from apple into rooted apple, so definitely it's going to, composition is going to change. Then toasting bread, again bread is something else, and when you're going to toast it, it's going to change it to something else. So then yeah, you cannot bring it back to its original place. Have you ever done that you're having a toasted bread and you have ever bring it back to its original place? No, you can never do that. Raw eggs become cooked eggs. So here this is a raw egg. Here this is a raw egg. So it's a physical change. Okay, it's a physical change. Now here when it becomes cooked, it's a chemical change. You cannot bring it back to its original place. A new substance is formed. Raw egg is not eatable. Like it's eatable, but like most of the people do not eat it. But cooked egg is eatable. Like you eat it, it's irreversible. You cannot bring it back to the raw egg. You can never do that. So cake mix becomes a cake. Now here here's a cake mix, it's a physical change. Okay, it's in the same situation, but when it becomes a cake, you cannot bring this mixture back again. You can never do that. So signs of a chemical change. So there are some signs that will help you know that it's a chemical change. So first of all, color change. If a substance is changing its color, you should know that now it has converted into a chemical change. It is a sign. Like here, talking about leaves, once they are brown, then they change into green. So that means here there's a color change taking place. That means a chemical change due to some chemical reactions. This has happened, and definitely that is because of chemical reactions. Then precipitation. Now whenever precipitation is taking place, then you should know it's also chemical change. So the formation of a precipitate during a reaction is a strong indicator that chemical reaction has occurred. So specifically, the characteristic of a precipitation reaction, which is a type of chemical reaction that results in the formation of an insoluble solid, the precipitate from a solute. So that's basically how precipitation is a sign of a chemical change. Okay. Then gas production. So whenever there's gonna be any gas is gonna be produced, then you should know that it's resulting in a chemical change. Now how? The question arises, how? So basically, so basically the production of gas is generally a strong indicator of a chemical change. Now when a chemical reaction results in a gas being formed, it signifies that new substances with different chemical properties have been created, which is hallmark of a chemical change. Now this is how it's basically a chemical change. This is how you can say a chemical reaction is been taking place. Okay. So now temperature change. Now how temperature change? So in a chemical reaction, temperature changes indicate a transfer of heat energy. Now exothermic reactions release heat, causing a temperature increase. The temperature influences reaction rates. Like higher temperature generally increase reaction rates due to increased molecular motion and collisions. So now here This again, these four were the reasons. Then 5.1 is changes in characteristic properties. Now when a door light gives off, like these type of characteristics are going to change. You are also going to know that it is a chemical reaction. Then chemical or physical, you need to know this. It's already done here, but cutting paper, again, it's physical. Ice melting is physical. Again, I told you torch burning is chemical. Rocket fuel burning, it's chemical, because definitely it cannot be bring down to its original form. Then sewing forward, it's physical, because yeah, food can be joined together and make that. Metal rusting, it's also chemical. Metal cannot be bring back again. Disappearing metal, it's physical. Puddle can come now again. Okay, so now physical change, phase changes are physical changes. Now you should also know that whenever there is a phase change, that is a physical change. Now melting, freezing, evaporation, boiling up, both same things. You can say them as vaporization as well. Condensation, sublimation, deposition, these are all the phase changes that are physical changes. Phase changes are always physical changes. Now physical change, chemical change. Okay, so you should need to tell this. So interesting names, they are always a chemical change. Wait. Physical change, chemical change. So effective western tablet, like when you basically uh, deposit the tablet in the water, so definitely it's a chemical changes. Tablet cannot be brought back. Cut paper, it's a physical change. Physical change, chemical change. Vinegar and baking soda, definitely it's a chemical change, because we cannot bring both of them back. Dissolving salt in water, it's a physical change. So how it's a physical change, that with the step of vaporization we can bring salt back. So there's an activity I'm gonna tell you about it. Broken glass, so broken glass is a physical change. And burning wood is a chemical change. Ice melting is a physical change. Then removing iron fillings from a mixture, so I think so that's a physical change, because you can bring iron fillings. Boiling water, so that's a physical change. Now check. Okay, here these are the answers. Okay, so this is all about our today's class. Hope you like it. Bye bye, take care, and Allah Hafiz, everyone.